Hello, welcome to Good in Years Care channel. I'm your host, Owen Osareko, your seniors advocate. There's an interesting documentary I saw. I just want to reflect on it, and it's something that concerns many of us, especially in this part of the world and in Europe. It's something that we tap into. I like coffee. I like to drink coffee a lot. I just can't remember when I picked up that interest in coffee, maybe many years ago in Europe when I arrived in Europe. So I went through this documentary by BBC, and a trigger of something in me interestingly. I didn't know so much were attached to coffee, just drinking coffee. So what are the importance or dangers of consuming coffee? You know, coffee is one of the most widely consumed beverage in the world, and research shows it can have both health benefits and potential risk depending on how much you drink, your overall health, and how your body responds to caffeine, also, especially as we get older. Some of the importance and health benefits of coffee, as shown the research I've tried to find out. Coffee is rich in antioxidants, and coffee is a major source of dietary and antioxidant which help protect cells from damage caused by free radicals. This compound may reduce inflammation and lower the risk of chronic diseases. So also improve coffee intake. Also can improve mental alertness and focus, taking moderately. Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system, improving alertness, reaction time, and concentration. It's interesting. It can also boost short-term memory and cognitive performance. Another benefit of coffee is a lower risk of certain diseases. Moderate caffeine consumption, like between 3 to 4 cups a day, has been linked to a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and some cancers, some type of cancer. It may also protect liver health, lowering the risk of liver fibrosis and cirrhosis. Fourthly, improve physical performance. Caffeine also increases adrenaline level, which can enhance endurance and exercise performance. But we also have to watch out for the potential dangers and the risk associated with coffee, because everything that we take in have positive and negative side of it. Number one potential danger is sleep disturbances. Caffeine can interfere with sleep quality and duration, especially if consumed late in the night. In the day, poor sleep can lead to fatigue, irritability, long-term health issues. Secondly, it can increase heart rate and blood pressure. In sensitive individuals, a high caffeine intake can cause palpitation, elevated blood pressure, and feelings of anxiety. Thirdly, it can also cause digestive problems. Caffeine is acidic and can trigger heartburn, acid reflux, or stomach upset in some people. Also, additionally, can also affect a situation where you have a withdrawal symptoms. Regular consumption can lead to caffeine dependence. Stopping suddenly may cause a headache, fatigue, irritability, and difficulty in concentrating. It's also risky for pregnancy. Pregnancy risk, high caffeine intake during pregnancy has been linked to low birth weights and miscarriage risk. Pregnant women are advised to limit caffeine to less than 200 mg a day. So the consumption guidelines in every cafe, whatever you do must be done moderately anyway. So for most healthy adults, up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, that's about 3 to 4 cups of brewed coffee, is considered safe. Or you can consider also taking decaffeinated coffee if one has gotten to a point where maybe what you need is just the smell or the aroma of coffee. You can take the decaffeinated coffee, even though most of them cost a little bit more. You can limit sugar and high-fat creamers to avoid turning caffeine into a high-calorie drink. Also listen to your body, because if you experience jitters, anxiety, or sleep problem each time you take coffee, then it's not good for you. So is that not interesting about coffee? Let's watch this documentary together, and we hear the history and the story concerning coffee. You'll be shocked. Come on with me and let's watch it together.
Coffee has been consumed for at least 1,500 years, and some say its impact is so great that it helped fuel the Enlightenment, which gave rise to some of the big ideas that underpin the world as we know it. The main active ingredient of coffee is caffeine, which is considered the most widely consumed psychoactive drug on the planet. So where does coffee come from, and what does it do to us when we drink it? Coffee comes from the fruit of the Coffea arabica plant that originated in Ethiopia. One story claims a 9th century goat herder called Caldwell saw his goats were more full of energy after eating coffee berries, so he had a bite too. Historic records suggest the Sufis of Yemen roasted the seed of the coffee berry to create the beverage we recognise today. In the 15th century, the first coffee houses began to appear across the Ottoman Empire before spreading to Europe in the following centuries. Coffee houses in Europe became a space for discussing business, politics, and new ideas. One academic, Jürgen Habermas, even says without coffee, we might not have had the Enlightenment. Philosophers like Kant and Voltaire, who is said to have drunk as many as 72 cups a day, started to question the Catholic Church's interpretation of the world. Instead, they looked to science, believing that everything in the universe could be rationally explained. This so-called Age of Enlightenment radically changed the world as we knew it. It led to the overthrow of monarchs, the growth of democracy, and numerous scientific discoveries. Coffee also fueled the slave trade. The French used slaves from Africa on plantations in Haiti, and by the early 1800s, Brazil was producing a third of the world's coffee using African slaves. Did coffee give rise to capitalism too? Companies started giving away coffee to their workers and eventually let them have coffee breaks. This wasn't an altruistic move. They were trying to increase worker productivity. Fast forward to the present, and 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed every day. It's a $90 billion a year industry, and more than that, it is a fundamental social part of everyday life for billions of people. So, how does coffee impact the body? When caffeine enters your digestive system, it's absorbed via the intestine into the bloodstream. But the effects only start when caffeine hits the nervous system. This happens because caffeine has a chemical structure very similar to that of a substance produced by our own body, adenosine. Caffeine binds to the body's adenosine receptors, which can be found on the surface of nerve cells. It's like a key opening a lock. Adenosine is known to slow down the sympathetic nervous system. It reduces your heart rate and generates a state of drowsiness and relaxation. By blocking these receptors, caffeine generates the opposite effect. Your blood pressure, for example, may increase slightly, especially if you are not used to drinking coffee often. The same goes for brain activity. Caffeine stimulates the brain, suppresses hunger, and helps you stay in a state of alertness so you can concentrate for longer. Caffeine can have a positive impact on your mood, inhibit feelings of fatigue, and can improve physical performance. So, many athletes use it as a supplement. These effects can last between 15 minutes and 2 hours. The body removes caffeine 5 to 10 hours after consuming it, but caffeine's residual effects can last even longer. If you want to optimise caffeine's effects on your body, experts suggest abstaining from caffeine in the afternoon so your cup of coffee the following morning has more impact. Coffee also requires care when it's drunk. For healthy adults, the recommended maximum limit is 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's about 4 or 5 cups of coffee. Exceeding this limit can lead to side effects such as insomnia, nervousness, anxiety, tachycardia, stomach discomfort, nausea, and headache. Toxic effects like seizures can be seen after the rapid consumption of around 1,200 milligrams of caffeine. That's the equivalent of around 12 cups of coffee. Of course, these limits vary from person to person. Some people are genetically more sensitive to caffeine. But when drunk in moderation, coffee can be good for your health. For instance, it's associated with a reduced risk for type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, some cancers, and Parkinson's. And these health gains aren't just linked to caffeine.